The SafeMoon Army is 100% mine and the company's top priority. If someone in the company does not share that same commitment, they no longer remain with the company, which I have already demonstrated previously. Now that is not directed at anyone. I am just iterating the standard that SafeMoon employees must uphold. JOHN KARONY.
I never got to meet John in person, but the person he showed me he was.
I grew up overseas. If you guys Google me, you can see that both my parents were CIA, retired. I graduated high school, moved out to Utah, and started college. Quickly realized that wasn't for me, joined the military.
A person like me.
Continued my travels with the military, time in Korea, airborne school.
He came out, put himself in front of the camera.
I'm personally in our Discord talking to people all the time. Like I might have not ever met these people individually in person, but I've talked to many of them online. But no, the importance of communicating with your community it can define whether you're going to be successful in this venture philanthropy business model or not. Because if you can't tell the narrative or the story, who's going to know about it? Who are you going to inspire to then continue and pass the flag on to keep going?
He faced all adversity, faced forward, and dealt with it.
I understand what it's like to face mud, and then you're one executive order away from being criminalized. So, like, where do you see...
Don't sweat it.
You know what I'm saying?
Putting your name behind something takes a lot, and it is a risk. But for me, I believe in what SafeMoon does. I believe in what we do as a company, and I believe in myself as well. And I totally understand the hesitation with like doxing yourself. There is a huge trade-off there, and you do get a lot of flack online. You know, they'll probably likely have to deal with, you know, the unfortunate dark part of it is a lot of cyberbullying that takes place. But you got to have thick skin. You got to let it roll off the shoulder and don't take it personally. And then one thing I always do is I look at what's the positive sentiment behind their complaint. What are they actually trying to get at? And then taking that feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and then using that to help evolve yourself as a character, as a person. Help evolve your character and also you as a person. So it's a tough decision. It's not for everyone. If you know that you're not going to do well with a lot of public exposure, you probably shouldn't go down that path. But also, don't let fear go into your decision-making process.
He put his heart on the plate. I respect that.
Building trust. Building trust in an industry that likes to talk about trustless technology. If, you know, a large motor company says, hey, you don't have to trust me, but trust the technology, most people won't buy it. And this is especially important for the crypto core. The trustless makes sense. For the crypto curious, they try to understand it, but it doesn't make sense, and it's especially important when trying to attract mainstream audiences. SafeMoon is blessed with both, like with a wide dichotomy of people. You know, just on our Discord alone, we have someone who's a certified doctor, medical physician, to people who are college students. You know, that's just a small little tidbit. You know, when you're dealing with such a wide audience, the importance of communicating a solid narrative, solid story, and solid information out to people for all three audiences, the crypto core, the crypto curious, and the mainstream, becomes all more important. So, and the big thing that ties all of those communities together, all those different audiences together, is trust. Build trust in a trustless industry.
I respect that.
Well, so SafeMoon won't comment on an ongoing case. However, that's a business model that we don't support. It's about venture philanthropy.
I respect that.
It's a human-focused innovation company, so ROI, return on impact. So the more impact that we have, the more technology we release, the greater our ecosystem can grow, which then feeds back into the return on impact. So increasing the impact in the world and doing good.
I respect that.
Prime example is energy. When you're able to reduce the amount of friction points, you can actually pass those savings onto the customer rather than pass those savings onto your bottom line. So for SafeMoon, that's what we're focusing on, is actually creating efficiency to reduce our overhead so we can pass those savings on to the customers and actually provide, the goal is virtually free, clean energy once the entire ecosystem's up and running.
I respect that.
What SafeMoon is not, we're not a meme coin. So while meme coins have their place, and I do appreciate meme coins like Dogecoin, for SafeMoon, we're not a meme coin. We are a tech company.
I respect that.
Well, first off, we're not competing with other people. We're competing with a version of ourselves 10 years from now. Again, this is business is an infinite game and not a finite game. And so it's about continuing the evolution, continuing pushing forward and improving the company. You know, we're not perfect, and we never will be, because perfection is a journey, not a destination. Nice little paradox there. So for us, it's how do we be better tomorrow, the next day, 5 years, 10 years down the line? And so with that North Star that we follow, we put that into our products, we put that into our team, just like when our products evolve and we upgrade, you know, whether it's the new cross-chain swap that we're putting in, the team also has to evolve as well. So people will come and go from SafeMoon over the next 10 years. However, the vision and the mission is what remains.
Get to know John a little bit, the way I got to know John, and maybe you can see where I come from when I say what I say and why I say what I say when I say what I say. Get me?